Kenneth Okonkwo has dropped another banger as usual, and in this one, he said Gaba blast Julius Abure, say lie that he is not a Labour Party member under the leadership of Julius Abure because he was not formally elected by the stakeholders of the party. Rather, he used court order to gain access, but he is a Labour Party member under the caretaker committee as formally elected by the stakeholders of the party. And I was like, what is going on? But he did not stop there. He also cautioned those who are blasting the ruling party for planting moles into opposition party. And he said Gaba that they should better stop that because it is never the fault of the ruling party. Rather, it is the fault of the opposition party and their leaders. In fact, he went forward to say that if there is no willing receiver, there will not be any giver anywhere. And for the leadership of those opposition party who allowed those of their party members to go and receive something from the ruling party to come and destabilize their own party, are the one to be held responsible. In fact, he said so many things in this video which you would like to listen to. Just listen to him. And as you are listening, be clicking on that share button and also subscribe for more updates. And after that, I'll be back. Let's go there.
You're still a member of the Labour Party.
Yes, I am a member of Labour Party, but that's not the Labour Party under Julius Abure. No.
Okay.
Not.
So which Labour Party are you under?
I am a member of Labour Party under the Progressives of Labour Party.
Okay. Who's the national chairman
of
the
Labour Party?
Progressives of Labour Party.
Well, for me, the national chairman is the caretaker chairman, who is Nadi Usman. So, because that's the one that all the stakeholders of Labour Party appointed to be their chairman. Democracy is government by the members of the political party, not one person using the instrumentality of the court or using instrumentality of brigandage to proclaim himself as chairman. That's unacceptable. That's undemocratic.
But you see, that's the dynamic that we keep seeing with political parties. We're seeing that even with the People's Democratic Party, where a court order and then party constitutions seem to be at variance. Some people are more loyal to, it's a party, we're supposed to do these things by ourselves. But then there are other people who feel, look, this wasn't addressed, I'm going to go get a court order that gives me what I need, which I think is the right thing. So that person comes with a court order, and then there are people who are still loyal to what the party constitution says, which I think is what is going on as well in the Labour Party. What's the way out? If we're unable to get the two people, the tables to come together, how can we now trust that you can handle a country as complex as Nigeria?
Well, let me actually continue by saying good morning, Nigerians, and thank you for joining us. Now, I've always made it clear that I would never blame the ruling party for anything that is happening in the opposition party, because excuses and successes do not go hand in hand. I listened to His Excellency Atiku Abubakar saying that the ruling party gives 50 million naira to the opposition party. I was not ashamed of the ruling party. I was ashamed of the opposition party. You're actually indicting the opposition that they are very corrupt. If there is no willing receiver, there will be no available giver. It is a legitimate political weapon for any association, party, or country to use whatever means to destabilize the opposition or opponent. I mean, it's just like Nigeria spying on Niger Republic. And you're telling me, for instance, that if there are people from Niger Republic who are accepting the money of Nigeria to sell their own country, then you're coming to blame Nigeria for doing what they should do. Opposition has not lived up to the expectation of the Nigerian people, and they should own up, take responsibility of that failure, and go back amongst themselves and do the right thing. Reject the ruling party's offer to destabilize you, because it is in their own political interest to destabilize the opposition. But the opposition allowing itself to be destabilized shows that they are incompetent and corrupt. What is going on in the opposition party is because of the opposition party, not because of the ruling party. In 2023, when we convinced Nigerians that there should be a change of government, we rejected every entity from the ruling party. There is nobody in opposition that is very popular, that is very focused in what it's doing, that will not be enticed by the ruling party. It is whether you accept it. So when you accept it, don't come to begin to blame the ruling party. Look at what is going on in PDP, for instance, as what you said. Some people came out as G5, worked against the interest of the party, not covertly, but overtly.
Yeah.
And everybody saw it. And you, the opposition party, accommodated them and excused, gave excuses for them. Normally, when you allow such things, it will start graduating. Now they want to take over the party. Now the ruling government has given them appointment. And from that seat, they can use whatever income that is coming to purchase the remaining people. So they will go ahead to hijack the party. And when they hijack the party, then the true members of the party will become servants to the servant. Because their main leaders are now servants to APC, being ministers in APC. And the remaining ones are servant to that leader. So, meaning the PDP is now a servant of servants to APC. So you have to reject the yoke on your neck. You have to say, let me breathe. So what is happening in the PDP? Can you imagine the secretary? A court has given decision, has given judgment. The first court has given judgment. The appellate court has given judgment. And you're still sitting there claiming stay of execution. That's what we call balance of convenience in law. By the time you are talking about granting an application to somebody, you have to check the balance of convenience. If you say the secretary that did not get judgment should remain in office while the Supreme Court is considering it, it is an injustice on the person that got judgment. Because before the Supreme Court will finish, the tenure would have finished. No, the person that has judgment of a court should take possession pending if you go and get contrary judgment. Because the balance of convenience is in his favor. It will be an injustice.
I don't want us to miss that thought, because that was a sticky point. We will continue, but that was a sticky point yesterday when we were having a conversation here with former spokesperson of the PDP, Kolo Logbodion. And one of the things that he mentioned really was the fact that, look, a stay of execution is not infinite. It doesn't last forever. He was saying that lawyer, so you're a lawyer.
Yes.
Explain to me how a stay of execution works. Can it be overridden, as we have seen with the People's Democratic Party and the BOT?
Right. In one case that I was involved in Court of Appeal, we won the case. And somebody brought an application for stay of execution in the Court of Appeal. And we were saying, this is like coming from the back door to make the Court of Appeal to overrule itself. If you have anything against the judgment, appeal to the Supreme Court. The Court of Appeal granting a stay of execution is like saying that we were wrong in our judgment. Now, stay of execution also does not operate against a declaratory judgment. Declaratory judgment is simply saying you are the owner of this building. This title belongs to you. So what are you saying? It's declaratory. Now again, you have the right to appeal to the Supreme Court. As for salariated hearing, not using the instrumentality of a stay of execution to overrule a full judgment of the court. And again, I learned that even the stay that they had was pending the hearing on the next day, on the next adjourned day, and that day had gone. So the BOT of PDP, and let me admit that they are actually moving towards the right direction, because if you don't insist on the right thing, then the wicked and ignorant people will take over your party and mess it up for you. So the BOT, the organs of the party, they are actually even coming late. They ought to have done this as early as the next day after presidential election. Because once you do not treat an ailment, it can become terminal and cancerous. So what happened is that, as far as I'm concerned, the secretary of PDP is as proclaimed by the court of law, because that's full judgment of the court. So anybody saying that's an application, and an interim application, and in my own opinion, the Court of Appeal should not even have the jurisdiction to grant stay of execution, because you are actually overruling your own judgment.
In your party,
Yes.
Julius Abure has court judgment. Why don't you all rally behind him?
Good. Because court judgment is not a court that brings democracy to the people. It is the people that decide who governs them. And you can see that the so-called judgment is ridden with inconsistencies and contradictions. The courts say they don't have jurisdiction, that the issue is not justiciable. And then you're saying that we should begin to take your judgment in a Bisenis case, that you're applying it in Nennadi Usman's case. And we are saying, no, sir. If you don't have jurisdiction, the case is dead like dodo. That is the principle of law. Jurisdiction is the power of a court to determine a matter. So if a court does not have power to determine a matter by its own admission, then why are you giving an order from the back door?
Please, what is dead like dodo? I want to add it to my lexicon.
You have to be a Yoruba sister to understand that. I just spoke Yoruba, and I lived,
I want to apply this in my lexicon. It's dead like dodo.
Like dodo.
Okay.
We the Lagosians, we know what we're talking about.
on to one story really from the Labour Party that's really got a lot of people upset. In fact, the governorship aspirant, the aspirant for the Labour Party, Mr. John Wosu, for the upcoming November 8th election in Anambra State. He was talking about the killing of Justice Azoka. His body was found rotting, And so it's been a very shocking situation because he's a lawmaker, and the idea that something like that can happen to someone of that stature. And of course, everyone is calling out the Anambra State Governor, Mr. Soludo, saying, "No, look up the security game. What is this about? How can a lawmaker's body just be found killed and rotting somewhere on the road?" And the shock of it all. Let's talk a little bit about how the Labour Party is looking at this situation. At least we've heard from John Wosu. How does the party see it?
It's very pathetic. It's unconscionable, and that explains the general malaise that we have in this country, that a sitting member of the House of Assembly will be so much degraded, killed, and his corpse treated so disrespectfully. You can imagine the fate of the ordinary man. Now, this is the failure of the system. And I'm telling you, in as much as I agree that the state government has a share of the blame, the federal government is to be squarely blamed. You cannot. Yes, I've said it so many times. The federal government does not have what it takes to protect every inch of the land of Nigeria and every person in this country, because our security is undermanned and under-equipped. So we don't have what it takes. Why don't you liberalize the security system? The state governments deserve to have state police. They deserve to have the equipment, the men to fight these things within their territory. Why are you assuming responsibility that you don't have enough authority to accomplish? So kidnappers picked him, who has the monopoly of the security forces. The federal government. You have only one police. You have only one IG. Now, they took him, killed him, put his corpse in such a manner. Federal government. Because it is not only when you want to, exude power that you begin to say, no, carrying arms is illegal, the state is this and that, but you are not just providing the security. Why don't you allow state police? If Anambra had state police now, I would sit down here comfortably to blame the state governor, to blame the state apparatus, but they will be begging to even be allowed to use the chakakpam gun, and they will still not be given. So the issue here is that, okay, look at the DG, the former DG of NYSC, a general, and his entire family kidnapped in Katsina. When you're kidnapped, you are under the mercy of those people. They can just waste you like they did to this man. Even if you pay ransom, something might just go wrong. So this is a systemic failure systemic security lapse and failure that we should blame the federal government squarely. Is either they have enough men and materials and money to secure us, or they should liberalize it. By now, as a nation that has more than 200 million persons, we ought to be operating the federal police, the state police, the community police. And you have just the federal police. It is not enough. So it's a failure of the system, starting from the federal government. Of course, the state government should be a blame, because you have to be creative enough to go away from difficult situations to protect your people. Some governors are doing it. The Southwest governors came with Amoteku and give it to them. Since they came with Amoteku, the security system situation has improved. But in Southeast, they came with Bubago, it collapsed. They came with this, and they need to be more cohesive. They need to be more cooperative amongst themselves, especially in the area of security. Enugu governor is doing well. He's digitalizing the security system, you know, because the man has actually started proving that he's visionary, he's digital, he's modern, and he's creative. And you can see that. I heard that he has a system where he watches whatever is happening in Enugu State. That is being modern and digital. So every state in the Southeast should move on to that level of innovation.
I mean, we had that conversation during the week, really, the Enugu model. And how it should be replicated across the Southeast, especially with the peculiarities of the problems in the Southeast.
Absolutely.
Let's go back to the Labour Party. Okay.
Proceed.
This divide is there. Is Peter Obi still your preferred candidate for the Labour Party?
Well, you have to secure the land first before looking for maths. You're talking about what will happen in 2027.
Yes. It's 2 years. It's 2 years away.
That's what I'm saying. When I was talking about anarchy in Labour Party and we should fight to make sure we have Labour Party, it's because I know that if you don't have a stable Labour Party, you cannot be talking about presidential primary. So let us even have a stable Labour Party first before you begin to talk about presidential candidate. But let me tell you, any party that pretends to be democratic must give everybody who is willing and who is able to contest for any position the chance to do so. I've always said it, even when I was a spokesperson, that no ticket should be reserved for anybody. That would be very undemocratic. But if you have a stable political party, you will see that leadership evolves. In America,
who in the Labour Party is going to be contesting this presidential ticket with Peter Obi if he decides to run even on the platform of the Labour Party? Who in the Labour Party would be interested in running against him, to get the presidential ticket?
Good. Like I said, let us have Labour Party first. For me, in my own opinion,
you said there were
Labour Party is not existing. Now, PDP has problems. Labour Party is non-existent because it's purporting to have a leadership that did not emanate from the people. I was the presidential spokesperson. I was not aware that we were doing a convention. So which convention brought the executive you're talking about? If I that speak was not aware of a convention held, then you can imagine the ordinary Labour Party members. So as long as you are saying that there is a leadership under Abure, I put it to you that there is no leadership under Abure. So it's either there is a leadership under Nenadi Usman, or in my own opinion, there is no Labour Party. I have said it and I'm saying it. At any point in time, that by crook or by any way, Abure succeeds in establishing himself as national chairman, that is the day that I end everything about Labour Party for myself. I have said it and I'm saying it again.
You will leave the party?
I've already left. That's the issue. Once it is Abure, I said I am not a member of Labour Party under Julius Abure. So I've already left.
Will this impasse?
Yes.
I'm trying to think of any way it can be solved. My brain is not brilliant.
The only way it can be solved is for the courts to do the right thing.
Will the Labour
Party, not Labour Party.
Will you people get this thing together? Will this party be together and ready for 2027? Talk about, our conversation today was supposed to be about the role of opposition and how Labour Party can be providing the proper opposition, and of course we're watching the PDP and other parties as well. How can the Labour Party be providing proper opposition in our democracy if they don't have their house together? That, and the fact that would they be together come 2027?
But now, let me put it this way. It was not even Labour Party that said Abure is not the national chairman of Labour Party. It was INEC. INEC told the world that this man and his so-called executive did not organize a convention known to law. INEC is the supervisory body. And you're telling me one court said and one court... Sorry. In the Constitution, the court is not the supervisory body to political parties. INEC said it, and they provided evidence. And the court told Abure, when Abure went to court, we don't have jurisdiction to entertain this case, meaning the decision of INEC stands. And when there is no leadership, according to INEC, what happens is that the people have gone to choose a caretaker committee to now organize the convention. It ought to be a very simple thing. But because the so-called executives must have been aligning themselves with the ruling party, in my own opinion. And that's why I said, you should not blame the ruling party. When somebody is now an outlaw, he goes to submit himself to the ruling party, and the ruling party will gladly welcome the person, because they will now use him to destabilize the party. So what happened is that there are willing collaborators in Labour Party, led by the so-called executives, who have submitted themselves to APC for help. The ruling party.
Do you have any proof
and
of
they
this?
Are being used.
Is there actual proof that these people... Do you have names? Are you able to point particular people who have done...
Proof.
Okay.
Before the purported convention, they were saying, ticket is reserved for P2B. Ticket is reserved for OT. When INEC declared their seats vacant, and these people went and constituted a caretaker committee, what were they saying? No, the ticket is no longer reserved for anybody. The ticket is now reserved for APC. If it is no longer reserved for anybody, in my own opinion, it's as simple as that. Because you cannot approbate and reprobate. You cannot say you're reserving this ticket for this person when you were not having problem. Then you start having problem, and you're saying you're abandoning the person. So who are you now liaising with? And then the court will give a judgment and put one sentence that is an abracadabra that nobody will understand. Imagine a court saying, I'm hearing that the first time in my life as a lawyer. A court is saying this case is not justiciable. This case we don't have jurisdiction. But we are standing on the judgment of another case with different parties before the court. It's not done. So you have the hand of Esau and the voice of Jacob. And once there is no consistency, you will know that somebody is beating the drum, that people who are on the bank of the river are dancing.
I mean, it's a very shocking situation.
It is shocking. I knew we were going to get to this if we do not nip it in the bud. I told Abure then, go and conduct a convention known to law. If you win, so be it. I don't have any interest. I am not contesting for any post. I am simply looking for rule of law. I am simply looking for good governance in this country. And if we came to show Nigerians that we are the alternative that will produce the integrity they need, how can we, if our party is not doing well, how can we convince Nigerians? I am not the man that will sit down and start painting things the way they are, because it's good governance that took me to politics. I just told you about what Governor Mba is doing. I am not in PDP. Look at what Governor Obasani is doing in Kaduna State. He's APC. But look at how he has managed the ethnic diversity and religious diversity, and is bringing peace and saving lives. That is what leadership is. Telling the people what they should hear, not what they want to hear. Look at what Zulum is doing in insecurity in Borno State. You can see that the insecurity situation, no matter the flare up from time to time, is improving. Look at the former governor in Niger State. Look at how he is focused on agriculture. You could, he say his name is even farmer governor.
I mean, with these examples that
okay,
you're
look
giving,
at what Fubara is doing in River State.
with these examples that you're giving,
they cut his.
Are you sure that you will
allocation.
still be? Because I've been waiting for you to say Alex Otti.
Yes.
And you have not said Alex Otti since we started
No,
this conversation.
Alex Otti-
My question is, are you
Yes.
sure you will not defect?
Now, I don't like hearing the word defection.
Okay.
Yes,
Move.
what you will say is, are you sure you will not resign from Labour Party?
Are you sure you'll not resign from Labour Party?
Good. And I'm telling
and
you
join
that
another party.
as it is now, I have already left if Abure is the chairman.
Okay.
My words are very...
Okay.
I am a member of Labour Party.
Yes.
But not under Julius Abure.
Okay.
So, by any crook, if Abure managed to... Because this is Nigeria. I would have told you it's impossible if we were not in Nigeria. But because we are in Nigeria, when a case is in court, unfortunately, anything is possible. If he manages to wangle himself and becomes national chairman, it's automatic. You know me, I've always said it. Never does not belong to me. It belongs to God. So I don't use the word never. Because we are dealing with human beings, especially a collegiate set of human beings that have no integrity. Alex Otti is doing exceptionally well. Why I was not mentioning him is so that you don't say I am praising him because he's Labour Party, belongs to the same party with me.
Yeah.
Just for you to know that I will praise good governance wherever it is going to come. We are trying to launch a movement for good governance by March 1st.
Yes.
Where we are going to get the best of leaders in Nigeria to come and lecture us on the secrets and strategies of how they have been providing good governance despite the challenges. Look at Fubara. They cut off his statutory allocation. He kept moving. No sector was denied. They cut off local government allocation. He kept moving. Prudent management of resources.
You get the point. Now, Kenneth Okonkwo never disappoint. But come to think of it, how can opposition party leaders, or should I say opposition party members, allow their fellow member to be serving another party and still be a member of their party and also causing problem in their own party? What is actually going on? But nevertheless, share your thought with me on the comment section. And of course, you know the vibe. Click on that subscribe button, follow and share for more updates. Because like this,